Hello everyone, this is Satara Frenzy and we're back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the basics of Scratch. So this video marks the start of a series which is about Scratch. So in this series I will teach you all about Scratch, the basics of Scratch, and maybe a bit more advanced tips and tricks and coding for Scratch. Okay, now you may ask, what is Scratch? So Scratch is a block-based coding platform which you can use to code your animations, games, and more. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about some of the basics of Scratch. Firstly, you will need to know about the x-axis and the y-axis. So in order to do that, let me change the backdrop up first. I'm going to explain what a backdrop is later. Okay, as you can see here, this is a XY grid. So basically in this little square, the way you mark the position of a sprite or just basically to mark a position is by locating the coordinates, which are X and Y. So on the horizontal axis, which is this axis, it is the X axis. So the X axis at the edge here at the left hand side is X to minus 240. And then on this side, the X value is 240. So along this line from left to right, the X value increases. And at the middle, it is X0. So it's basically the middle point of the line. And now for the Y-axis, it is the line that is vertical. So it vertically goes upwards. Yeah. And at the bottom here, the Y is minus 180. And as it progresses upwards, the Y value increases, and at the top, it is Y 180. So the value of Y is 180. And also at the middle, the Y value is also 0. So it's the middle of the line. So you just need to remember X is horizontal from left to right, and Y is vertical from the bottom to Y. From the bottom to the top. Now you will need to know that each character or particle or thing in this platform is called a sprite. For example, this cat or whose name is Scratch Cat is called a sprite. So this guy here is a sprite. This cat here is a sprite. And as you can see here, these are the coordinates of this sprite. See, the X and the Y. Okay, so below are some more information about this sprite. And I'm going to talk about these later on. And you will need to know that the two main blocks of this platform. There's the sprite block and the backdrop block. So the backdrop is basically the wallpaper, or basically, as the name says, it's the backdrop of your project or your game or your animation. So it's basically the backdrop, and then you can customize your backdrop and you can use it as your scenery. But there are also a lot more things you can do with it. I'm going to go over that in future videos. As you can see here, when you hover your mouse over here, it will say choose backdrop. So you can choose your backdrop. Here is the choose a backdrop with a magnifying glass. So you can press here and find your backdrop choice, the choice of backdrop. You can change it to this, and you can also paint your own backdrop. You want to green rectangle for backdrop, I don't know. And you can also surprise backdrop. So it picks a random backdrop from the gallery. You can see here just now. And you can also see the upload backdrop button where you can upload your backdrop in as the backdrop from a computer. And for the sprite, it's basically the same thing. This, you can choose a sprite from the array. And for these and for the other ones, you can also paint your own sprite. Yeah. And you can also use the text button. So over here, you can also drag it around. Each sprite, you can drag it around. Okay, and there's also a surprise button for the sprites. So for example, this is a dog in a space helmet who's apparently named Dog. And here's also an upload sprite button, so you can upload your own characters. Okay, so for each of these, either backdrop or sprites, you can also, there are also 3 columns, as you can see. There's the code button, the code tab, the costume tab, and also the sound tab. I'm going to go through the basics of them and what you can do with them. But right now, like very simple basics. So for example, as you can see, this is the first tab, which is the code tab. Okay, so in this tab, you can code your character. So you can basically code what you want your character to do. So for example, if you want your character to turn 15 degrees clockwise, whoa, I'm selecting the scratch cat now. Okay. You can make it turn the other way. These codes all correspond to only one sprite, along with these costume and sound. They only no, except the sound. The sound basically plays from a computer, so that I don't think there's much of a difference. But so these two, the code and costumes, only apply to the sprite you're selecting. So now I'm selecting the scratch cat sprite. Okay, now for the costume, you can change your sprite's costume or the appearance directly through this tab. So for example, if I want a scratch cat to look red, wait, actually green, I can customize this look here. Now this is a green cat. Okay. And for the sounds, you can also choose from an array of sounds, record your own sounds, a surprise sound. Yes, yeah. And also you can also upload your own sounds. And there are also multiple buttons for you to customize your sound. And for the backdrop, it's basically the same. So there's the code button, the backdrop button, so you can customize your backdrop. But yeah, okay. And there's also the sound button. So it basically does the same thing. Now that's all for today. Remember to like and subscribe to Tutorial Frenzy and follow up and stay tuned for the following videos in our series, which I will basically go through the basics of Scratch. Thanks for watching and goodbye.